Hello, this is a brief tutorial on how to set up Murray's Case 2 crude oil example for his IntermarketState tool. I assume that you have imported Murray's ELDs for the data magician if you have delayed data, and also for the strategies. In this case, we will be looking at, for Case 2, the name of the strategy is going to be, I'll double check that. Apply strategy. In this case, we're going to apply the strategy intermarket strategy state or to enter. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up the workspace. We know ahead of time that we're going to need the crude oil data, the Dow Jones U.S. oil and gas producers, and the dollar index. Now, if you're like me, you have delayed data, some real-time data. Mostly, I've got delayed data. So setting these up is a little bit more difficult if you have delayed data because you can't mix different delays together. That is the reason that Murray created the Data Magician. I actually helped him program this to make it as efficient and easy as possible to use. So let's go ahead and let's start the process. Again, I assume that you've already imported the ELDs and you have the Data Magician in bar. 1 second, let's turn this alert off. And you're ready to go in TradeStation. You've got it launched. So the first thing you do with Data Magician, you have to create a folder on the C drive, and it's going to be called, I think it's TS ASCII. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, on the C drive, Windows TS ASCII. So go ahead and create that folder. As you can tell, I've got this folder created, and I've already got several files dumped into a day session. So let's go ahead, if you haven't got it created, let's go ahead and create it on the C drive. And then when you do that, you're done with it. So let's go ahead and close it down. Okay, let's start with your TradeStation. I assume it's up and turned on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new workspace. And the two data files that we'll be needing to support the crude oil data are, like I said, the DJUSOG and the dollar index. So let's go ahead and create those charts first. Let's do this. You've got to put the horse before the cart with the Data Magician to make it work right. So let's do that. So I'm going to create a chart. I'm going to format this. It defaulted to the gold. Let's go back to what we need. In this case, it's going to be, what was that again? Hard to remember. It's the $DJUSOG. I hope you can remember that because I can't. So we'll flip back and forth when necessary. DJUSOG. And let's go ahead and do a daily, and let's go back 10 years. Okay, there it is. Now the other is the dollar index, which is simple. Let's go ahead and create that. Format the symbol. This is going to be simply at DX. Just double check that. And it is. So we're going to go back 10 years on a daily bar. Now the last one we need is the crude oil. But before we do that, before we create the crude oil chart, let's go ahead and apply our Data Magician, which will export this data to that directory or folder, CTS ASCII. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go Insert, Indicator. I'm going to Data Magician. Oh, it's TS, I'm sorry, TS Data Magician. Come on. Open it and insert it. Just leave everything defaulted. As you can see, the file path is CTS ASCII, which we've got created. So let's just go ahead and say OK. Now what this is doing is it's running through the chart and it's exporting each day, open, hello, close, and any other data is necessary for that chart. It could be an index, could be a futures, could be a stock. And it's going to dump it into a ASCII text file in that directory. It's also going to create an entry in the .ini file that TradeStation utilizes for the specs of whatever data you're importing as a third party. So it does all that for you. It's a very, very neat tool. It's a little slow though. If you're doing intraday data, you got to keep that in mind. If you go back 10 years on a 5-minute bar, it can take some time. The other beauty about this tool is I set it so that it will update real time, meaning that anytime you open the chart or the workspace, the data will be automatically updated in that directory and will be fed into the chart that's receiving it. And I'll show you how that works. Should be done any moment now. And at the end, when it is completed, you'll get a system alert. It's going to be like a cork pop. And I'll show you if you want to see how this works. There's the cork pop. And we'll go to TS ASCII. And there is the data as it was created. It's there now. It was there before, but I had done this prior. So, but in your folder, if you just created this, you'll just have the attributes file, and you'll have your file for what you just imported, or I'm sorry, you exported with the Data Magician. So let's go ahead and quickly jump back to TradeStation. Let's do the same thing. I'm going to insert indicator. And it's going to take about the same amount of time. So let's go Data Magician. Say OK. Accept all the defaults. We're going to write all the history. We're going to write the real time. There's no file separator, meaning right separator. You could put a comma or whatever you want in there. So let's go ahead and do that. 10 years of history. It looks like it takes almost a minute, maybe a little bit longer. Let's see. This pause is intentionally left in, waiting for TradeStation. I've got a lot of other stuff open, as you can probably assume, so it's slowing it down just a tad. Maybe quicker on your computer. Looks like the dollar's up today. That's the beauty of Data Magician, is that it allows you to actually trade these daily bar systems, and it actually works on intramarket too, or intermarket or intra data data as well. You just got to keep in mind not to go back that far in history, or it's real slow. Okay, and a little more than a minute right now. Come on. And again, once you get all this set up, once you get the workspaces set up on your computer, You just have to open them up, and the Data Magician will do its job for you, and it'll generate the orders so you can trade these systems that Murray provides. So we're going to working on 2 minutes now for 10 years of data. There it is. And one good thing is the Data Magician lets you know that it's working by providing that text message on the chart. Okay, now we've got the two intermarkets that is needed to be fed into the main screen, main chart. So let's go ahead and create the main chart, and that was crude oil. So let's go ahead and create another chart. Format the symbol. We're going to go @CL. Come on. There it is. And we're going to go daily. And let's go back 10 years as well. This will be a little quicker because the only thing we're doing is we're pulling just that data. Okay, now going back to what Murray needs for this. Let's see. He needs data 1 to be crude oil, data 2 to be the DJUSOG, these are oil and gas producers, and data 3 to be the dollar index. So let's go back to TradeStation. And let's create this. I'm going to insert symbol. Since we exported this data, we have to bring this in as a third party. So let's go to lookup, go to third party. The directory is c/tsascii, c:\tsascii, and there it is. Now everything was handled for you by Data Magician. So the only thing to do is go ahead and hit, let's insert it. Then plot it. Should plot no problems. There it is. And now we've got to plot or insert data 3. And we're going to look up again just because it's third party. It's actually not really third party, it's TradeStation data, but we've exported it in a third party format to provide this capability of mixing data, delayed data time frames. So let's go there, and we need the dollar index. So let's insert that. Plot it. There's your 3 data chart. So let's go ahead and insert the strategy, which let's double check the name of the strategy one more time. It is IntermarketState or to enter. Now we're proceeding with IM, so let's insert that strategy. Insert strategy. Right there it is. IM, IntermarketState or to enter. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And here, if you want, I don't want to do this because it's time consuming. You could go in here and make sure that your inputs line up with what Murray's got in his Word document. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'll let you guys handle that. This is just for setting up the data and getting everything inserted properly. So there it is. Let's go ahead and hit close. And let's see if it generates trades. And there you go. I hope that is helpful for setting this up with delayed data and using the Data Magician. Thank you.